Welcome back. This is John Locke, and today I want to address an apparent paradox in the reasoning and deductive powers of the Google algorithm. And once I point this out, you will probably never be able to unsee it, but the way that SEO and the way that the Google algorithm is taught by a lot of people and the conventional wisdom, it's apparently that Google is both too stupid to figure certain things out, and it's super smart and it can figure everything out at the same time. And I will just preface this by saying I don't believe that either one of those is true. I believe that the answer is somewhere in the middle. Google is an imperfect algorithm, doesn't get everything right. It's not as dumb as certain things imply that it is. It's not as smart as certain things imply that it is. But let me point out the specific instances of how it is taught, and you will begin to see that there is a dissonance in how the perception of the smartness and intelligence level of the Google algorithm is actually taught. So on one hand, we are to believe that Google is not smart enough to figure out naturally occurring links, and we should disavow any link that has a certain type of profile. Now, I think, to be fair, a lot of this is perpetuated by SEO tools, and I'm going to call out SEMrush specifically. The reason being, most of the time when I see this in Facebook groups and channels and SEO forums and on Reddit and in Quora and in Facebook, Slack channels, on Twitter, people asking this question, it's always the same thing. 85% of the time, SEMrush is labeling links as toxic, and they're not toxic. And I'll give you an example. So, for example, a scraper site that maybe takes all the articles out of a specific category and makes just a jumble of stuff, and those type of sites that are there for about a year and then disappear. Sites where there's parameters like search parameters and it labels those as toxic. Maybe there's a site-wide link like a widget link, like here's our friends or our partners, and it labels it as toxic. Some sort of sidebar or footer link or something like that, or press release links, and it'll label all these as toxic. Look, Google just simply weights these links less than it does a link from CNN or HuffPo or ABC or ESPN or Time Magazine or Forbes. It just gives it a little bit less weight. That's all. There's no need to disavow these, and honestly, if you go and disavow these, it's probably going to end up doing more harm than good for your site. I really don't like how a lot of the SEO tools make it super easy to file a disavow file, because a lot of time it's just telling Google like we've engaged in black hat activity, and nothing happens as far as that. It doesn't affect your ranking going up or down, and the only time that you should ever use a disavow is if you've seriously engaged in building like some bad black hat SEO links, and you've used some sort of automated software to build links, or you've got links from porn sites or gambling sites or Viagra sites that your SEO company built. Now, a lot of times people will try and do a negative SEO attack, and you'll see this especially with SEO companies. A lot of SEO companies have done this to other companies, where they actually go out and build those types of links that I just described, like gambling, adult, pharma links, but they end up having no effect because Google just gives them no weight. So on the one hand, we are to believe that Google cannot discern between a naturally occurring link from either press releases or scraper sites or negative SEO or whatever it is. And we're to believe that we need to disavow links like just all day long, and unless we get a link from a like one of the top 100 sites in the world, we need to disavow. And that's not true. Google is not that dumb, and they actually keep track of that. Now, on the other hand, we're to believe that Google also has omnipotent and godlike powers where they can tell the EAT, the expertise, authority, and trustworthiness of every single web author on the earth within their given industry, and they can rank, like, where they rank in expertise and their knowledge and their just badassery within every single category and every single industry, just based on their author name and their author bio box. Not true. Now, while it is true that if you have like a Wikipedia page, or if you're that level of celebrity, if you're a book author or something like that, it might be a little bit extra weight given to your personal site if that's you. But for the most part, like 98% of the time, Google cannot discern between the industry knowledge of one person from another. And what they're actually looking at is the track record of the website. Does it have links from other industry websites? Do people link it to that site a lot? Do the people share it? Do people seem to give signals like time on page and things like that? Scroll depth, where they're getting value out of that page. But it is very little to do with the author in most cases, like 98% of the time. It is really very little to do with the author. Google does not have omnipotent powers to rank the knowledge of every author author in every single category on the face of the earth, and to think that is just absurd. But that is what people teach when it comes to eat. So that is what I'm talking about, the paradox of Google being too stupid to figure out toxic links, but at the same time, it's smart enough to judge the EAT and know that you are an expert in like these 3 categories, but not in these 87 categories. But that person over there, they're an expert in these 5 categories, but not in these other 45 categories over here. That's just not true. It's not possible. At this point, Google has not advanced that far. Believe me, their neural net is still in the learning stages and is not true. They go by the site, the track record of the site, what category they discern the site to be in. And like we've said before, you can have a competent author on a good site with a good track record in a particular category. It's going to do a lot more than having a super knowledgeable PhD expert author on a site that has no track record for a category and no links from other industry websites coming into it. Hope that makes sense. This is the paradox of how the Google algorithm is taught. It's stupid sometimes and just obscenely smart, almost like God at other points. And the real truth is it's somewhere in the middle. It's not perfect. It's made by human engineers. Human engineers are not perfect. Neural nets are still in their infancy. AI is still in early stages. It's getting better. Machine learning is getting better, but it's not anywhere near the perception level of a human being that can tell, like, these links are natural, these links are unnatural, this person is expert, this person is not an expert. Human beings still have the competitive edge when it comes to intelligence and discernment. So that's all I have for this video. My name's John Locke. My business is Lockdown Design and SEO. I hope you enjoy this, and I'm here every single day making videos on SEO. I hope you'll subscribe. That's all I have for now. Until next time, peace.